Okay, so we got another Poundland pistol to try out. This is the Extreme Action Dart Gun set, 5+, so I'm not expecting much FPS. I mean, they usually are the same sort of power each time. And yeah, the Poundland blasters have kind of gotten a little bit better each year. I mean, if you type in Poundland blasters, you can kind of see some really old ones on there that just don't pack very much of a punch. They're on YouTube. You can search them up on there and you'll see. But we're going to see if this has some mod potential. I'm hoping it does, because I do like the aesthetics of it. Kind of reminds me of the Insanity pistol, but with like a different aesthetic, like an alternate version of it. But yeah, they've actually done a mistake on the instructions on the back. They've done put the bullet in the barrel, pull the trigger, and then pull the trigger to fire. So yeah, they've done that twice. But yeah, it's pretty obvious. You can learn from the pictures anyway, and I've got a feeling that this isn't an English product, and the other writing on here is probably the right translation. So the cool thing is you do get quite a few darts with this, and these are Burberry darts. They're solid tips, so they're quite good to cut down and use in like AEGs and stuff like that. Much better accuracy. But yeah, we'll see what this is about anyway. Quite a bit of packaging for what this is. So you've got these string pull things. I should be able to just pull them and stretch them like that. Hopefully I should be able to just rip this one. There we go. And then these darts, looks like they're in their own little clamshell, so I'll just pull this and rip these out. There we go. So you get quite a few darts considering it's just a single shot pistol. So this was £3. So for £3 you expect a bit better quality than some of the original stuff. So there's a little bit of flex to the shell, but not much. Kind of see through it a little bit. It's quite narrow grip, but it's not too bad to hold. If you kind of hold it like that and then put your finger on the trigger, it works. Basic sights, they do the job, I guess. Quite a few screws on here, but they're nicely laid out, so shouldn't be a problem. I like the grill that you can see through, all the way through it. So looks like the plunger head, the plunger system is literally here, and this primes back the plunger, looks like. So there's a chance I might be able to change the spring, but it's not going to be a very big spring. That's a very light prime. So you can hold it back and deprime it. Yeah, that's a very weak shot. That's very quiet. It's actually louder cocking it. That's not going to be very powerful at all, I don't think. That might be the air restrictor, because there is an air restrictor in here, so we will remove that as well. I already have some of these darts to hand. A bit of tape on there on the end of it, but same dart as these, brand new. So we'll see what FPS we get from it. So quite a deep muzzle on there. I'm wondering if, looks like this is rotating inside into the barrel collet, so might be able to remove this collet and actually be able to move the system from that. Fake Picatinny rails is quite funny on here, on the top as well. I don't think there's anything that's going to fit on there, it's just too narrow. It does look cool. Fake safety on this side, doesn't do anything. And made in China written on that side. It looks like this should have been a branded blaster. This panel looks like it should have had something written on it. And then it's got a lightning bolt and some zigzags, which, the zigzags actually do make it nicer to cock it, even though it's not very much to cock it at all. See what FPS we can get. I should actually chrono it. I'll get my FPS, because that's not too bad for what it is. It's really quiet and it's shooting quite far, so try an elite dart. don't know why that was hard to prime that time. That seems to be shooting quite good for what it is. It's quite, yeah, surprised at that. So I'll get my chronograph. Okay, so doing a couple of chrono tests of it. We got an Elite dart, one of the old Cheeto full size space darts, Air Pocket X-Shot dart, and the Pro X-Shot dart. So we'll start with the Pro X-Shot dart. .33 FPS, 33.8, so it's literally like an original Jolt FPS. I mean, the internals look like an original Jolt. 24 FPS. $19, and then that one for 60, so hopefully this gets a bit better. 26, no. So yeah, definitely definitely quite weak, but at the same time it like has a nice pop to it where the dart doesn't just lose its velocity straight away. It's actually good for what it is. Considering the prime weight, I think a child would actually like this. Yeah, it's quite good for a child, but we are not children and we want to mod it and see if we can get a bit more out of this. So I'm going to unscrew the screws and we're going to take a look inside of this. Okay, so there's 10 screws overall and they're all the same size, which just makes it easier. But I will say it's just very good quality. Like, I see why this costs like £3 and not just £1 to, you know, buy it. So let's see how this comes apart. So I'll try prying this off first. There we go. Okay, so we have the return spring built into this part of here. Yeah, there's the back of the plunger. So very simple. You could actually delete the spring if you wanted to. If you wanted to have it more of a non-returning slide, which I don't know if there's any people that would want that, but it would be like that. And then you push it forward again, but it's very easy to prime it with just one side, so just pull that out. So this is just wrapped around a peg on the inside of here. It's very strange. There's no screw, it's one of the pegs, so quite a simple system. See, the catch is built inside there. You could actually delete this slide altogether and just have a bar running through and have it a bolt action if you wanted to. Literally like that, because this stays back, this doesn't return, so that could work if you wanted some sort of bolt instead. This collet piece seems to spin freely. Looks like I can just spin it and pull it out of here. So let's get that out first. See how loose that is without it. It's not too bad. It looks quite cool without it. Looks like a longer barrel. Might actually be able to change this into a more of a brass system. But this looks like I should be able to pry this apart too, so let's do that. That was very strongly clipped together, these two pieces. The pegs go into these slots, so even these separate shells are quite strong. These panels are removable, so I am probably going to remove them for a mod that I want to do. Let's see if I can push the pegs out. There we go. See if these pop out of here. They look like they should. They don't look like they've been glued in place. That's clipped it back in again. I'll have to see if I can get that out. As to be expected, I did break one of the pegs on this, but it's very smooth, so I'll probably just glue that down. But I'm going to do a mod with this and change these orange pieces out. But yeah, so yeah, not bad. I'm glad that you can take these off. We have the catch and the springs here. It kind of all like exploded apart, so we'll have to figure out where the internals go, but it shouldn't be too difficult. There we go, literally took me 10 seconds. We've got the trigger and the catch in there. That's pretty good spring on both the trigger and the catch, and there's quite a bit of space, and I've got a few springs I can replace this with. Quite a solid catch and spring. Not a bad spring on there. It's actually well lubed. Pull the air restrictor off like that, not even glued in. Yeah, these internals are getting a bit better. There's the stick for the dart, the rod, and the air restrictor. Don't even have to cut them out. Just pull it apart, put that back together again. Let's see what air seal we can get. You know what? I can actually put a better O-ring on here too, so let's give that a go. So the second panel came off this side pretty easy. See the injection moulding bubbles on there, that's quite interesting. But yeah, gonna change those out. Have my own colour scheme for those. I've taken the system out for now just so I could do that. But next is the O-ring. This plunger tube isn't too bad, it's pretty good quality, and the barrel isn't too bad too. Also, the way this plunger and barrel's set up, it comes off, like I said. You can literally Dremel out this piece here, and you would have literally a perfect barrel system. And if you want to, you could even drill out this hole, but it's pretty big. I think I wouldn't really need to drill it out any further. But yeah, I mean, you could do some modding and get a longer barrel in here. But we're going to try, we're going to just see what we can do with just the basics done first. This is the spring that came with it. I don't really have one exact. It's the same diameter as a 7N, but I don't know if it could handle a 7N, like cut down. This spring's not really that strong, this little one I've got. It's a little bit stronger than the stock one. See, yeah, it doesn't go around there, that's the main thing. And there's the catch mechanism built onto the plunger head. Yeah, see, 7N would probably be the most likely to fit around it, but I don't know if this plastic is pretty weak. That would be the weak point. So it looks like we're kind of out of luck with that one, the springs, because it's just a different kind of spring. But we can always stretch out the spring. I know this doesn't always work the best, but if you don't have a replacement spring, you can always do this. Because if you don't leave your blaster primed and you fire it as soon as you prime it, this will actually work for a little bit, but we'll change this O-ring out and we'll see what we can do. Okay, so took me a couple minutes, but we have improved air seals now. Don't know what that is. I think it might be a bit of rubber, but let's knock one of the O-rings off. There we go. So I've got a double O-ring in here, one on the back. It looks like they designed it very similar to like a Caliburn one, but I tried wrapping the O-rings around it and it just wouldn't work very well. But now we've got a really good air seal. I
and when I don't hold the seal, you can see how easy it is. So definitely a much better air seal now. So yeah, it's just reassembling the internals, and I've noticed with this is that you can pull out your barrel, and you could probably convert this to an airsoft if you wanted to. You just use a straw or an airsoft barrel and 3D print basically a collet for it to sit inside, and yeah, you could actually fire airsoft BBs out of this. But yeah, it sits in there like that, and that all sits in there. Got a little bit of spring pre-compression now, which is quite good. This trigger is really strong, really tough trigger. I'm quite surprised at that. And it just drops into there. Just trying to test if the is all in place correctly. Yeah. Okay, that's good. Right. That's quite a good spring in there, as you guys can see. So obviously you get your spare spring from your air restrictor. Very cool how this all just is separate and just comes straight out. I think they planned for people to do that. But the shell was actually quite difficult to clip back together. It seemed to interlock together, so we'll see how that goes. It's quite easy. That's what I mean with the pegs. It seems to hold it together quite well. I left my return spring in there, of course. I've took these panels out just so we can do some mods with that, because we now have a clear shell. Because these panels, these are separate too, and they're black already, so I want to basically turn those black so we've got more matching colour code. And it will be more like the Insanity line as well, with the matching colour pieces. Because we kind of already have that. I mean, this blocks the orange piece, which is surprising that they made this black. And yeah, but I left that out. I think that looks cooler like that. And I'm going to probably paint the barrel as well, just to give it a matching colour code. Let's drop these screws in and let's put it all back together. Okay, here it is with the air restrictor and the dart post removed. Couldn't remember the name of it for some reason while I was modding it, but this is the dart post with the little spring for the air restrictor. I also took the collet off just because, in my opinion, I think it looks better without it. That's with it on the box, and that's without it. I think it looks a lot better without it. I definitely will be painting this barrel black though, just to match, and these parts will be black too. Just because it will just have more colour coded. You don't really need to worry about the barrel being orange when the whole rest of this looks like that. It's like a space look and it's blue, with an orange slide. So yeah, it's pretty cool. So definitely a stronger spring. We're gonna do some ammo tests. We've got one of the space darts. We got a dragon dart. And we also got an AF Pro to test in this one. So let's give it a go. Obviously, we should have some sort of performance increase. So we'll put it in before we prime it. So we have a failure to fire. I think this dart's too tight in the barrel. Let's try an AF Pro. Wow. 39 FPS, my screen's going crazy on it. I think it's because the battery's low. But it does this even when the battery's not low. it doesn't want to show it on there, but yeah, I can see it in person. On camera it's not showing it. 39.9. Let's try a drag and dart, I'm curious. So, having trouble with my chronograph as usual. .58, so it's a bit more than what it was before, but it's not really anything to like write home about. But it fires short darts now, and you know, you can use your finger to push them in. Might actually be able to cut this barrel down a little bit too, and make it a bit easier to put the darts in. But since the dart post came out, we will use the post to push them in with, so you can always do it that way. Yeah. So yeah, it's got some power to it now, as you can see. So definitely better than how it was before. So yeah, I recommend one of these. I mean, the only thing with this is that this dart was too far in. Fine when I don't put it too far in. But yeah, so it's not too bad. With the modded upgrade on there, put my dart post in there. Got my own little rammer on now. So yeah, not too bad with the mod. It's actually quite a nice little pistol to shoot. It's not actually much worse than the Insanity pistol, to be honest with you. I mean, the Insanity was doing like 60-70 feet per second. Wasn't that great. So I actually like the feel of this one, and I like the aesthetics of it. I think it'll be cool once it had a paint job, some sort of, you know, spacey paint job. But I'm much more happier with it than some of the other ones that I've come across. I think in future, if I find a spring that's a little bit better than this one, I'll just swap it out and see if we can get any more, because I'm thinking we can get at least 60-70 feet per second from this. The plunger size isn't too bad. I've redid the seals, so we're getting about 40 feet per second. Whereas it was only getting about 20 to 30 before, I think it was, at the beginning of the video. There isn't much of an increase, but you don't really get much of an increase with these cheaper ones. It's more about profit over performance with these blasters. But yeah, I'm not too disappointed with it, and I'm going to be modding it and painting it up anyway. So it's you know, it doesn't really matter too much. And yeah, so if you see these in Poundland or in the dollar store, pick them up and try them out. You might have a spring that works better than I do, and you might get a bit of a better performance. But I don't really have a collection of springs, so I'm collecting the springs as I go. But yeah, so other than that, thanks for watching, comment, rate and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.